Happy Tuesday to all of you out there in the great old social media world. This is Brother Dana coming to you from Chicago. Hope you are doing well. Shalom to all my Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters. Shalom, shalom to those of you who are just beginning to view. Our Hebrew brothers and sisters are actually our so-called black brothers and sisters here in the United States that took the journey here through the voyage of the slave ships, the Atlantic slave trade. So I also give a hello to my fellow Gentiles and strangers, those who are awoken, and yes, even those that are awakening, such as myself. I say shalom. So after that long introduction, I was just getting my stuff ready for tomorrow, my clothes, and I was listening kind of the news in the background. And you know that the Mueller report came back, and after 2 years, the Attorney General, or who was able to, in 3 days, magically put all of that down into 4 pages with a not guilty, completely innocent. So, whatever the case may be, my video is not to get into politics and go, as I said, I am not a Democrat and I am not a Republican, but I am a grafted in Hebrew brother. I side with the Most High Yah, which means I don't even side with Christianity. I side with the truth of the Most High Yah and who his people are. And so, they're going to battle to get the report out, all right? Which, battle for what? Your innocence. I would send it to everybody's doorstep to say, here, go ahead, look at it. I have nothing to hide. So I don't know why there's a battle for whether or not the report should be given, especially when the report is supposed to be 100% true, because this was nothing but a witch hunt. So, set all that aside, the reason why I also do not believe it is a witch hunt, and that is for what I want to share with you at this moment. So I was listening, and Nancy Pelosi had just shared where President Obama yesterday or this morning, or within the last few days, made an announcement that now the wall maybe is still brewing, maybe there's some progress, I don't know, but now he's saying, I'm going to deconstruct Obamacare, I'm going to destroy it. At such a time as this, as Nancy Pelosi said, because he could have maybe, eased into it, knowing that the Mueller report just came out. But see, there's a reason why he threw this out there. And yes, political people are going to look at it as a political thing. But the reality of it is this. Even some of his followers that may be upset or may turn, what he's going to do and what he's doing is he's bringing up a legacy of something that was a victory of a black man. See, and these things choke me up because I know the depth of white supremacy. And when I say that is, I hope for those of you that say you try the Spirit by the Spirit will understand that cracking in my voice isn't some show. But when I say that white supremacy does everything in its power to destroy black legacy, Trump is going to remind his followers to get them to stay on course by saying, oh, let's now destroy the legacy of this black man that went by the name President Obama. Whether or not Obamacare was 100% successful, what I'm saying, it was the first president in years that was able to accomplish this deed, and he was a black man, which was a legacy. And we know that Trump is trying to destroy every single positive or just legacy that he doesn't agree with, or that President Obama was able to achieve, whether you agree with it or not, white supremacy wants to destroy every portion of any type of black legacy. And again, you see it in our stars. You see it in Cosby. You see it in R. Kelly. Whether or not they're guilty is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what is accepted and embraced and celebrated in guilt, in white supremacy, is then shamed and imprisoned and torn apart in a black community, so-called black community. Because we want to destroy every bit of legacy that a black person thinks they are going to lay. Because before, we took credit for your legacies, for your inventions, for everything that you did to make America where it's at. If you're a white Gentile listening, I'm sorry. Go look up 100 inventions by African Americans, and you will see that they have far outweighed, and even the inventions that we tried to make happen, like the car, Henry Ford, it was a black man that perfected it. Just like going to the moon, it was 3 black women that perfected it. So we can't even take full credit for most of the inventions that we think that we as Caucasians invented. But we have hid your legacy, and now we'll destroy your legacy. Because who are you legacy-wise? I know that's not a word. But you are the true chosen people of the Most High. And my people don't recognize you as that. But they're threatened by you in a way that they don't realize where it's coming from. And it manifests itself because of what's been taught. They're black, we're white, we're supreme, you're sub. We are the chosen of God, at least the white race, and you should be lucky for what you got because we enslaved you. And anything that proves that to be wrong, a legacy or anything, we're going to destroy that. And so Trump is reminding his followers once again, our enemy, remember, our enemy is not the Russians. Don't worry about me with the Russians. After all, they got white skin just like us. But remember, our enemy are our immigrants and especially our African-American blacks. They are our enemy. Stay focused. We've dealt with Russia in the past. If it leads to that, we can deal with them again. But right now, the real enemy is not the Russians. It is not my working with them. Remember, whether or not they through with God's hand, have allowed me to be in the throne. Because yes, whether they believe it or not, they worship him. And they're fooled. Because in my earlier videos, if you call yourself a Christian or even a person of faith, according to the Bible, it says it's impossible to please God without faith. And the opposite of God is hate. And so when you take my white Gentiles, that Americans that cannot imagine living outside of white supremacy and white control, they fear what they hate. And they cannot, or nor will they ever be able to even hear the voice of God. I had to work past my fear and my hate. Yes, the Most High really kind of bumped me on the head with an experience that caused me to want to dig deep into what these boys said when they beat me up. Welcome to racism. But at one point, I had to deny my own white supremacy and my white privilege and how I've lived by it, and that if I really want to be, at that time, a Christian, but now a follower of the Most High, a representation of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ, for those of you that do not know who I am mentioning, then I need to humble myself, because the cross that he's given me to bear, or the load that he's called me to bear, is to bear trying to understand what it means to live underneath white supremacy. And even though I haven't fully lived it, I have been blessed and cursed at the same time. You want to say punished, but suffered, that's the best word, by living amongst the people that I have fallen in love with, who are my inspirations, who are what I thought were blacks or so-called African Americans, but are now what I know to be the true chosen people of the Most High. And so there's no legacy that my white people want you to leave. And so when I share, and I know I went all the way around, but when I share, there's times that pain just zaps me when I say the words of how white supremacy has done everything in its power to destroy the black man. And that pain is so strong that it causes me to break. And so there's times in my journey that breaking has absolutely collapsed me to the floor. So why is Trump doing this? Because he's reminding my people to stay on target, that we need to destroy this legacy and not give credit to a black man for doing this, and then Democrat. But see, the reality of this is everything he's cutting, everything he's destroying that is of good or could be of good to all people, like healthcare, they're willing to kill themselves for their fear of you, but they don't think they're killing themselves because they think that their king, their savior, who says he's got something better and he's going to make it happen, they actually believe that this man is going to save them and be the savior that they're looking for him to be. And in the long run, there's nothing there but smoke and screens, because, back to this, who built this nation? The intelligence, the wisdom, the anointings, and the giftings of the true chosen people of the Most High, which are, for those of you who don't know who they are, our so-called black brothers and sisters. So, my people don't fear the Russians as much as they fear you. And therefore, they will look past anything and actually, to some degree, appreciate that Russia possibly helped get him elected to be their president, savior, Lord, and king. Thank you for tuning in, and like I said, tonight was one of those off-the-cuff nights when something just kind of pricks my heart, and I feel it strong enough to bring it to you. But I am going to do a video mostly for my Gentiles, and a lot of these videos coming up that I'm talking about are going to be for Gentiles. But I'm going to share to you my little research of the Ashkenazi Jews, and the research in my little bit of it has revealed some incredible things. And then I'm actually going to go through the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28. And I'm going to show to my Gentiles that those curses and all those elements in the latter chapter of 28 of Deuteronomy fits only one group of people. And that one group of people are the people that we have called black, African American, and then all those other words that I'm not going to mention. And it will be without a shadow of a doubt. And then after presenting this evidence to you, then I'm going to declare to you, as we declare in our white court system, in what causes someone to be guilty or innocent. And then you can decide for yourself. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. This was Off the Cuff with One Love, with me, Brother Dana, talking to you from Chicago. Let me just throw this out. I've gotten some comments about the cheetah that was behind this. This is just kind of my bedroom, and behind me is a wall in my bedroom, and I got the wallpaper on sale at Target because I thought it was kind of cool, kind of masculine. And then I got that cheetah that some people were saying that I am subliminally, or I forgot the word, but under the covers, shyly, revealing things with this cheetah with the one eye looking that I am connected to. So I know I can't entertain all of this, but sometimes I just want to throw that out, that maybe those of you who are doubting my spirit, and then you see these things, it's going to actually confirm what you want to be confirmed. And again, I don't blame you for that. I don't trust my people, and they've done nothing to me compared to what they've done to you. So I don't get upset. But what I do ask is, if you really believe it's the Spirit of the Most High Yah, and you have something that you feel is wrong, or maybe painting the wrong picture, then I believe even Yah set up a standard on how you approach those individuals and share to see where their heart is, or to see what they had to say and explaining it. I like the picture. It was on clearance at Burlington Coat Factory for like $19. And I love African animals. And when I saw it in the black and whiteness of it, I put it there. But what's happened is, this is my bed, and I finally got a mattress, and it lifted it up, and so I keep hitting the picture with my hand at night, and it's falling on top of me. So I didn't remove it because I'm trying to hide it. I removed it simply because I just got my box spring, and my mattress is too high, and my hand hits it, and it falls on my head. So some things that we think are subliminal speaking aren't, but sometimes we see those things as we already desire to see those things. If I desire to doubt somebody, I will always find things that confirm that doubt. And that's okay. But hopefully now that I share a simple explanation such as this, then if you can check your spirit and be like, okay, I have a right to doubt this man. Why should I trust him? But when he shares what he does, it makes some logical sense. So maybe his spirit is still on the road of saying to me, I think he means this purely in his love and devotion to the Most High Yah and into his people. So if you want to reach out to me, go to my webpage, www.onelovesociety.love. That's onelovesociety.love. Please email me. There's a contact form. That is where I will promise you a response back. And I know that there are some of my Gentile brothers, and I won't even mention his name because they will be the first ones to go back and get me suspended. But they get upset because they come to me with all these questions and all this information, and then they want somebody to answer. But see, I'm done doing that because these individuals aren't coming for an answer. They're coming to argue, and they're coming that whatever they have to say is supreme. And so there's no reason for me to waste the time, because if your spirit is right, and this individual knows who you are, if your spirit is right, you would come and not even ask me, but ask me for a Hebrew mentor that you could say, Brother Dana, I think you're full of crap, but you know what? I really want to know if you are and aren't. Not based on my own prejudice or my own white supremacy or my own, privileged thinking that us as white Gentiles and white Caucasians are the foundation of truth, as if we were present with God himself when he said, let me make man in my own image, and we think that we were present with him. So when you come with those spirits in your questions, don't think that the Most High or God hasn't given me a discernment to finally say, enough is enough, you've wasted your time, dust the dust from your feet, walk away and leave him alone, or her alone. So, the reason why your emails aren't getting answered, or even some of your questions here on YouTube, they're not getting answered because the chosen people of the Most High can see through your spirit, and they're not going to waste your time. If you come humbly with a spirit of humility, that you truly want to find out outside of your own racist bias, then my brothers and sisters on the Hebrew side will recognize that, and they'll embrace you. But until you do, you're wasting their time. And now that they're realizing they're kings and queens, they don't have to answer your questions anymore. They're not subservient to us anymore because they're finding their rightful place. And yes, our system may still be bringing them oppression. But guess what? That time of the Gentiles, that time of our reigning is just about over, and they know it because the word is clear that when this transition is about to take place, the awakening will happen, that the remnant of those who are still the chosen people, the Most High, will wake up, and he's going to miraculously, even in greater ways than the first time he departed the Red Sea, he's going to make a way for his chosen people to go back into their promised land and take ownership in being that king and queen and the people that glorify the Most High Yah, including Yahshua HaMashiach, in the way they live, that all peoples and nations will recognize who they are. Just as Jericho did, and just as all those other cities did, they recognized who they were. The Egyptians recognized who they were. A bit too late. And white America, we will be no different for those of you that want to refuse to open your eyes and recognize, or even give your ear to some humility, to listen to the defense without shutting them up. And until you do, they don't have time to waste their time, because they're preparing themselves to take their rightful place as the true chosen people of the Most High Yah. And yes, to the same individual, when I'm talking about my Hebrew brothers and sisters, they believe in Jesus Christ, Yahshua HaMashiach. So don't tell me that I'm not preaching the gospel. The Hebrews are the people of the gospel, of the Savior, Yahshua, Jesus Christ. That remnant knows who he is greater than we do, because we are only grafted in. And some of you are completely blinded still. So anyway, I rambled on, but this is Brother Dana, off the cuff, coming to you from Chicago. Shalom.